moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Dudes are up pretty early now, aren't we, people? What's up? Hope doing well. I'll do what you guys after the next track. Give me 1 second. There's so much on my mind right now. So much on your boy's mind. Anyway, do me a favor, hit that like button, share it around. You guys haven't done so already. I haven't even bothered to tweet this out. I'm gonna let people find this in their own time. But what I'm about to do out is pure truth. Nothing but it's help your boy's guide. I'm gonna tell it how it is. Shout out to everybody who's here. You guys have fun. Oh boy. Oh boy. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's going on? Hold up. I don't see my camera. I wonder why that is. 1 second. Oh, you know what? I know why. Because I disabled it at that time. Duh. Is it on? Yeah, it's on. Anyway, what's up, people? Hope y'all doing well. Good to see everybody. Let me just, probably just gonna relaunch this thing. 1 second. There we go. Okay. Make sure this doesn't have any audio. No, it does not. Ah, Big Cloud stretched. There you go. Disclaimer, you're going to get it. There you go. Now we're good. All right, make sure I don't have any bad audio. That sound good? That sound good, everybody? That sound good? Let me know real quick. Oof. Good morning to you all. Hope you guys are well. Let me turn this. Just minimize that screen. And let's check out the chat. We got Jedi Johnny 5 in the chat. Johnny 5, man. Short Circuit, one of the dopest films of all time. If you're a 90s kid. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Muck45 always in the chat. I see you, my brother. Yo, shout out to Envy Dub, man. A channel member for 18 months. Holy shit, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Guys want to become a channel member, it's literally $1. The lowest tier is $1. It's up there on the top right there. It says join. If you guys want to become a channel member, I appreciate it. Thank you very, very much to everybody who is a channel member and everybody who reaches out. I do appreciate it. Got a ton of messages from you guys, so we're going to go through everything as we go over what's happening right now. All right. King Mano, what's up? Of course we got Cassie in the chat. Of course she's up. She says, I don't know why I'm awake, and I don't know why you're alive, but hey, I guess things happen for a reason. Oh yeah, you already know it happens for a reason. You already know. We got Duffy, what's up, man? Good to see you. Another channel member, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Hurricane, what up? Arturo, what up? We got Jeff B Gaming, what's up? He said, why am I up this early? You know, it's funny. It was like there's like the only way for me to get this video up. I was sitting there going, do I make a video? Do I edit the video? Do I put this out here? Or do I just go live and let you guys find this at your own time? So trust me, I know it's early, but appreciate everybody who came through. I do appreciate it. So let's just go ahead and get right to the situation here, man. As you guys already know, we just got information for God of War, right? God of War Ragnarok, we got the release date. But before we got the release date, we had a lot of stuff happening in the midst. Developers being harassed for information. You know, this right here has gotten wild, right? Dudes are taking legit pages out of, let's just say, certain playbooks that they shouldn't be taking. You know what I mean? Dudes were sending them nudes, trying to get information for God of War. It got so bad that Cory Barlog had to go on Twitter and basically say, express why that is not okay and why that is a bad thing. In fact, there was so much going on that people didn't even want to talk about it. In fact, the channels that were talking about it, a lot of people were saying, oh, these are channels that just, thrive on destroying console fanboys. But the people who claimed that they're not fanboys didn't want to talk about this. This got swept under the rug. There was no accountability for what was going on Twitter for this. A lot of people brushed it off and was like, who cares? If it was Xbox, say, you know what, we'll blow it out of proportion. That's how a lot of people were when it came to that situation. And now it's gotten to the point you know, with, and really that's just one situation. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to say right here at all. So ACG put out a tweet 2 days ago, and this right here is regarding the future of developers and publishers and their, I guess, their ties going into social media, mostly Twitter. It turns out that a lot of them are talking about ending the communication between us and the developers. Now, I know a lot of people might be going, okay, this is great, which I'm all for it. I actually think it's a good idea to end this at this point. I'm surprised it's gotten to this point to where it took this long for this to be the thing, right? But a lot of people are confused to why. And a lot of people are upset about this. And here's my thing. And this is where we get to the scary part of social media, man. I've said this with you guys multiple times. Like, it's wild. Like, it's like nobody can escape it. Nobody. There's always some avenue, like there's always some outlet, or there's always some extreme low somebody finds to go to when it comes to these developers and everything. You got dudes making fun of, you know, people's kids. You know, when I forgot that developer when he left Microsoft. Remember that he left the team to go attend to his kids. Dudes like, oh, he left because, you know, it was a Titanic. It's like, no, he has issues with his family. See, the problem is with social media and the way people look at this whole situation, right? A lot of people are legit playing turf wars, and they think developers are pawns. They have nothing to do with your little turf wars or your little console wars. So excuse me if I find it funny how some of you dudes are now looking stupid now that they're looking to cut the leg off and not even mingle with you at this point. They're not. It's wild to me. You know, developers, and again, I'm not saying this because I've gotten to where I've gotten. I'm not saying this because I made, you know, good connections or good friendships with people in the industry. I'm not saying this because of this, because this is something that's long overdue. How many times have we seen this? Hell, let's look in the PlayStation camp. Who remembers when Shuhei Yoshida showed off God of War on the Steam Deck and he was playing it? How much buzz did this man get for playing that game on the Steam Deck? Who remembers that? How many comments did he get that dudes roasted him saying, oh, I'm not for this. I'm not for you doing this. How dare you do this? How dare you show this off? How dare you showcase, you know, you tarnishing the legacy of PlayStation. Remember that? There's a reason why they're cutting communication, and they want to cut communication. Because, first of all, these dudes can't even be, like, these developers can't even be honest with you. They can't be upfront. They can't even show off pictures of them playing games without dudes getting in their feelings. Let a PlayStation developer show off a picture of them holding an Xbox controller and playing something. Let them do that. Oh, we go right back to square one. Oh, we can't do that. How dare you do that? You're part of my team. It's wild, bro. It's wild. And you know, I don't see any of this changing. Even if these developers legit go through with this. If this actually happens, I froze? No, wow, I did. That's funny. Yeah, I just do that. But even if that does happen, and this is the case where we get to, actually, you know, matter of fact, give me 1 second. I'm going to do this. We gonna situate, because actually, that's actually a good idea. Just to avoid this together. Window cap. 1 second. I don't know why my screen froze. No, that's why it's going to do that. Did I cut my camera? Oh, that's why. Alright, let's try that. Let's try that. Maybe that'll fix it. Probably won't, but who knows? Probably. Delete that. I don't know why I keep going through this again. Sorry about that. 1 second, 1 more second. No, won't turn on. All right, well, then the next best thing is just to do this so you won't look at nothing blank. Give me 1 second, y'all. There you go. The next best thing. There you go. Sound good? There you go. All right, so back to the conversation here. It's wild that we've gotten this far to this, to this type of situation. It's wild that it's, we've fallen this low and we can't even be upfront with ourselves. I know it's the best I can do. But it's wild that we've gotten to this point. And now people are wondering, like, what's up with the future? What does this hold for us? Well, first of all, I don't even think Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are going to start looking at Twitter as a viable reason or a viable option for spreading news. Now, granted, I do think they will when they're ready. They will drop like the news there. But as far as us getting like that active feedback that you guys are used to, whether it be comments from developers, whether it be updates on on studios, whether it be them showcasing snippets of studio, all that stuff, I can see all that stuff ending. And personally, that's the thing. I'm all for it if they need to do this to get out of this drama. And here's the thing too as well. A lot of people are entitled on the internet, it feels like. A lot of them are entitled. Most of the people on here that were obsessed over God of War and were really looking for that, that confirmation that the game was dropping this year, were only doing that because they wanted to count that game on their finger and go, yeah, we got this game dropping in 2022 and Xbox ain't got nothing. Believe it or not, that is absolutely the case. A lot of people were like that. It's wild. It's just wild to me, man. It really, really is wild. And as far as like, how this is going to affect anybody, it ain't going to affect us in terms of like, okay. It depends on how you look at it. Obviously, okay, let me rephrase that. This will affect people. Okay, this will affect people. A lot of us have, how do I explain this? A lot of us have become very familiar with developers, me included. I'm real cool with a lot of people with this. I don't even post on Twitter as much. You guys look at my Twitter posts. I hardly post anything. Unless it's something for the podcast or I'll retweet something. I hardly post anything. And most of the reason why I don't post anything is because it's kind of pointless to post anything on Twitter. I feel like there's nothing to really talk about. You know what I mean? We might give our opinions on a few topics. We might give our opinions on some news outlets that might be trending in the industry, right? But at the same time, it does nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel. And I agree. It was going to happen eventually. He says, let's be real, bots only wanted God of War to get delayed because of Starfield and Redfall. Pull us into their misery. Pretty much, just like the same reason dudes wanted information on that. They wanted to count that game on their digit and be like, yo, guess what? We got this. Redfall's delayed on your end, this, that, and the third. A lot of people are playing, give and take with these developers, I remember, dude, looking at Insomniac Games, who remembers the drama with Insomniac Games when they said that Spider-Man, when in the state of play that we just had not too long ago, where it said Spider-Man was going to PC. What did dudes do? Dudes legit went into these OG folders or just went digging and found the tweet that they said that the game was never going to PC and was like, see, you guys are not a man of your word, and literally started interrogating these developers because the game is going to PC. Guys, I've said this. I've been trying to tell you guys for a long time. Things are changing. This is a new strategy. They're not going by the OG strats anymore. The OG strats is done. That's done. That is a wrap. We ain't doing that no more. And have you guys seen how Sony's been operating, how they're flourishing? They don't need simple console sales anymore. They're going outside that. They're going to a world where they are not limited to the box. That's what they wanted. That's what they see themselves. PlayStation's going to flourish, whether you like it or not. A lot of people say Jim Ryan needs to go. I don't like Jim Ryan, but here's the thing. Jim Ryan is bringing PlayStation in new light. You know what I mean? There's more happening with PlayStation than a lot of these dudes just don't understand. And there's so many more projects that's happened. You guys remember the developer we just had not too long ago? John? Who remembers him? We just got done talking to him not too long ago. There's so much stuff that I can't even tell you what's happening. That's happening with these studios. That's awesome. I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see Wolverine in all these games. But guess what? Guess what's funding these games? It ain't just console sales. It's PC. And now soon it's going to be mobile, right? Soon it's going to be wherever else they want to go. That's all going to come, that's all going to go center stage to the one thing that matters. And that is the games you care about. And this in return is going to guarantee Sony's going to be with us along the ride. See, dudes want them to stay in the familiar, conversation. Oh, exclusive this, exclusive that. Don't get me wrong. I'm with you to an extent. Absolutely. I'm with you to an extent. But if it comes at the sacrifice of, us losing IPs like we did back with the PS3 gen and whatnot, come on, let's face it. Let's face it, y'all. Let's face it. Most of the stuff that we're seeing here that's multi-plat started on PlayStation and could have stayed with PlayStation if they made proper steps like this to better the future. But the thing was, Sony didn't think like that. Sony thought because they had a monopoly with certain stuff like TVs, the not earpods, but it was TVs. They had the little the Walkman, stuff like that. Y'all remember? They were number one in everything. They didn't think long term, and this right here came and hit them and hurt them in the long run with the PS3. Looking at the damn multiplayer offering, they fixed that with the PS4. But guess what? That wasn't no quick fix. That was a long progressing fix. That took an entire generation for them to get that right. They had to they didn't even have a proper security system in play for the OG PS3. Who remembers the hack that took the damn thing off who took the servers down? Come on. Let's give this a buck. Come on, keep it a buck here. Things are changing. Things are legit changing, and people need to get with the program. Eagle fan, what up, bro? What's up? Good to see you. Dragon Knight, what's up? Hustle, what up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Fanboy War says, I'm scared. Hold on. I'm gonna read you next. He said Xbox players are mad at Square Enix because two of the games. One in September and another in October aren't coming to Xbox. Again, what did I said this on Xbox shows, and ironically, it was PlayStation was kind of at the heat of it at the time, because I remember when Bethesda was purchased. It was either when Bethesda was purchased or when it was Activision was purchased. But I basically said the casualties of war. You know what I mean? Both of these companies are going neck to neck for market share. You're going to see a lot of stuff, whether it be acquisitions, partnerships, or strategic deals. Sony's doing strategic deals with a lot of stuff if they can't lock down an acquisition. That's why you're seeing, them heavily, pushing certain games. Like, for example, who remembers Deathloop? Deathloop, that was a strategic deal for that in general to push the PS5. That's going to eventually go to Xbox, if I remember correctly, or maybe it's already on Xbox. But they're pushing stuff like that, to get into the public view. That's what they do for that type of stuff. You're going to see a lot of that. So I'm not surprised by it whatsoever. Yeah, this is not the best year for Xbox at all. Sony's got all this stuff on wrap right now. But when you go into next year, that's where they have to worry about. And hopefully they got some solutions going into next year. If they don't have any solutions, I don't know what to say at that point. I don't. I mean, it's bad enough we have to wait probably, another 2 years minimal? Yeah, like minimal, another 2 years for updates on something like Avowed. Because let's face it, I don't know. I'm not jinxing it, but I don't know. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to sit here and just speculate because I don't know. But we don't know what's going on over there at Xbox. We don't. A lot of people think they have the scoop, but we don't know the scoop. And, they have a lot of stuff they have to update us on for that. People need to understand, W says, people need to understand people's words and opinions are fluid and can change over time. That's human nature. And that right there is the common facts. That is the facts, my brother. And it's not even just opinions can change. I mean, even though we see it with Jim Ryan, his opinions changed when he was talking about when he was talking about legacy titles. Y'all remember that? Remember how he wasn't with it, and now he's with it because they now have a system in play for it? Or they're working on a system in play for it with their PlayStation Plus, the new PlayStation Plus tiers. this is stuff that's going to change a lot. A lot of people's opinions are going to change. And when you look at the business, they're going off of data. This is why I'm excited for the plus tiers. You know, they're offering trophy support from OG games. This is cool because let's say they do put the Resistance franchise on there and that game gets a whole bunch of traction through this service. Guess what? This can lead to more, of a demand for the developers in the back that guess what? You can get your sequel to Resistance. You see what I'm saying? All this stuff adds up. And to a certain extent, all this stuff adds up. That stuff's cool. I talked to Hip Hop Gamer about this so many times, you guys. Like, there's a lot of things that they can do through this. That's good. And I'm not even worried about that type of stuff. Like, Sony's future is the last person I'm worried about. Their future is great. They have a great future at this point. They're fine. Everything's looking good. You know, the company's going to be in great hands. A lot of people don't like the change. A lot of people, it's wild. So y'all remember what the OG Xbox One? Y'all remember back in the Ryan the Professional days? I'm going to turn the clock around for a second. For those y'all didn't know me back then, I was Ryan the Professional. But back in the Ryan the Professional days, y'all remember I used to have my foot on people's necks when they used to say that PC wasn't a platform on Xbox. You now got dudes on the PlayStation side trying to say PC is not a platform because they want to hang on to the word exclusive on PlayStation. PC has always been a platform, a separate platform. That's simple. It's always been like that. I don't know why dudes are trying to change the narrative or hang on to the narrative of exclusive. They're like, oh, it's console exclusive. So many dudes in the PlayStation camp are sound like Xbox dudes from the Xbox One camp. It's like, dude, just stop. Let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. Exclusives are eventually out, are on their way out the door. And the thing is, too, dudes want to act like, oh, I care about this. I'm upset about these games going this, that, and the third. But as soon as they show off another game, they forget it like clockwork. And they immediately go, yeah, PlayStation #1. I'm all in for this type of stuff. This is why I laugh, because dudes act like they're part of this mob. They act like they're all in. They act like they're all for change. But what happens when someone like me calls them out for like going, oh, yeah, why didn't you buy it? They'd be like, oh, well, it's my money. Don't tell me how to spend my money. But I'm like, I thought you were all in for this. You know what I mean? Thought you were all in. I thought you were against this type of stuff, but then they buy into it. It's like, come on, man. Stop it. It's too much. It's too much of that going on, man. It's too much of that, yo, we have the answers. Listen. And I want you to listen for someone who knows a lot more, who's learned a lot from being someone who thought he knew everything. I learned a good amount. I will say this. I was very knowledgeable. I learned a lot, though, by sitting back and being grounded for a little bit. You know what I mean? I learned a lot. But I went from being that guy who thought he knew everything and had all the answers to learning 5 times more in the process. Because let me tell you, man, sometimes it's best to actually listen. It is best to listen. It really, really is. But more on that later. You guys will get the answers when we get there. I'm going to keep it a buck. There's a lot of stuff to be excited for. I'm going to leave it at that. Cryptopsy in the chat. What's up, brother? He says hit the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Hit the like button. What's up? Shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. We almost got 100 people in here. It's mad early. I appreciate y'all. I know it's early. I'm not used to me being up this early, but hey, I just had to get this off the chest because it's a lot going through my mind right now. Paradox says, I still want a siphon filter on PS5. It will happen. If that game, from what I'm looking at on that game and how well that's being like received, granted, they still have some kinks they got to work out with that solution, especially with the PS3 support. Once they get all this stuff done and fixed and they find a better solution to give you the PlayStation 3 titles, I do see stuff like that happening in a better and broader scale, like Siphon Filter getting more eyes on it, even though it already has eyes on it. But I can see a lot of this stuff getting a hell of a lot better for everybody. Absolutely. I like the PS Plus Premium service. It has a lot of potential and could be better, but I'm cautiously optimistic about it. As you should. What's up? Always Mad Gaming. What's up? If she gets hit by you and other men, she ain't exclusive to you. And that is a fact. That's one way of putting it, but yeah, that's fact. That's fact. Eric the Beard, I'm all for Sony games going on PC. More revenue means more profit. More profit means more blockbuster bangers. Eric dropped the jewel. He understands it. There you go. There you go, brother. Gaminator, he says, Big Cloud, I'm sick of hearing term, it's a console exclusive. There's only exclusive and multi-platform. That is a fact, brother. That is a fact. I'm hearing dudes throw that around. I'm like, is this a sock account from an Xbox or my eyes deceiving me? Like, you know, I'm about to turn 30 up in this joint, but I'm like, bro, am I going senile? What's going on here? I'm seeing dudes throwing around console exclusive, and then they're standing behind it like, yeah, but it's console exclusive. What you got? I'm like, bro, if you don't cut this out, it's either exclusive or it ain't. It ain't exclusive. Because I'm going to tell you why. I don't need a PlayStation to play that game. Just like I don't need an Xbox to play that game. It ain't exclusive. It's a multi-plat. And guess what? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You would think after seeing these developers being super excited for these games going to other platforms, that dudes would understand that it's deeper than that. You know, a lot of these developers want these games to get, I don't know. They actually want these games to succeed and go beyond what you guys think they are. Like, for example, how many people were capping for Returnal? Who remembers that? Remember Returnal? Dudes was capping for Returnal hard. It was like Returnal is the best thing ever, right? And yet, when you look at the sales of Returnal on the PlayStation 5, it wasn't that super high. And then the excuses happen. Well, that's not fair. You can't compare that to this. I'm like, I'm comparing this based on the way dudes was running their mouths about this game, right? This is the game that was the game of the year. Remember how I was getting crucified when I was saying, yo, I don't think the team over at Housemarque did a lot to actually showcase this game to at least make us understand what we're getting ourselves into. Do y'all remember that? Who remembers that conversation? I had this conversation so many times with you guys. I had that. I was like, bro, I don't think they did enough. And then what happened? What happened? One of the crazy things happened. It was like clockwork. And then dudes all of a sudden were mad that this happened. But I was like, bro, that's just me being honest. And that whole situation transpired. Not only did I have the privilege of interviewing the audio technician behind the game, we also had Housemarque watch the podcast and was watching us play the game. Shout out to Housemarque. I mean, come on. Criticism is criticism. That's it. That's not me hating on the game. That's just me giving a critique on something. But yet, dudes couldn't take a simple critique. And then when it came to those sales numbers, they didn't want to have that conversation. They want to give you excuses. Now that this game is more likely going to PC, guess what? This is great for the game. I'm going to tell you why. Because those of you that didn't want to play it, there's a whole bunch of more on PC that are definitely willing to pay for that game and are definitely willing to support that game. And that game's going to do even better. And I'm excited for that because I can't wait to see what their next IP is. Dudes need to understand Sony's at this point now where they're like, bro, they don't need you to buy the game because they got another platform. They got a whole new avenue. And guess what? They're opening up other avenues to where they have options to guarantee that they can keep making bangers. And we're not even counting the other divisions like movies. Sony's good. Sony's legit good. You guys need to get with the program though. Stop trying to like find something to complain and bitch about. It's sad, bro. It's sad. John says, yeah, hopefully the updated PS Plus service provides more games from other IPs and services improves over time. It can only improve from this point, bro. It can only improve. It will take some time, but yeah, it will. Sean says, be careful because there are those who will take what you're offering now and still gouge your eyes out for crossing them in the past. And that is a fact. That's a fact. That's true. Eddie87, what's up, Betty? Good to see you. He says, I'm just so excited for what they have in store that are yet to show us. So far, they only announced games prior to 2022 that were supposed to be released in 2021, but some delayed into 2022. Exactly, man. So you're looking at the broader picture. There's a lot to look forward to on PlayStation. A ton. Dude, Spider-Man 2 by itself is a guaranteed moneymaker. That's guaranteed, that's guaranteed to sell the console. But you know what's wild too though? I remember I was talking to Blaze about this because Blaze was like really on the fence that Sony was gonna have a Ragnarok PS5. Y'all remember that? I was like, they could have had that if they would have given you custom side plates, with the Jotnar edition. That'd have been cool, like another edition for that. Maybe like the side plates could look like Mjolnir. I don't know, something like that. But I know a lot of people will probably be like, but that's kind of cartoony and kind of kiddish because it's like, it's not really all the way custom. But I mean, there are ways they can go about it now. They have a way going on. But I do think, though, they're probably not going to do that because By the time we get into custom consoles, we're probably going to have a whole full-fledged new design for the PS5, and that's probably going to be when the Pro and Slim drops. That's when you're going to start seeing different colors from them. I don't think this whole side plates thing is going to last super long with them. And if it does, they'll probably change it to something even more better. Because, you know, a lot of people can feel, I guess a lot of people don't like ripping off the side plates, even though it's not hard to take off the side plates. But hey, what can I tell you? Going down here, got an RTX 2070 Super. She's a faithful pedal. I see you, Doug. I see you. Look at you. I got a 3070, so you go ahead. You enjoy that. Big until we see Xbox deliver AAA, the scope and quality of Sony first party, I'm convinced their Game Pass model does not support $150 million budget games. See, the thing about Game Pass, and we've seen a lot of games take the hit for this. Game Pass is a service that you constantly are up to the date, right? Like monthly, right? When you throw AAA games into the mix, this is why Sean Layden believed the quality dropped, and you're kind of seeing that to an extent. For example, remember how they just threw Halo Infinite into the public? They didn't throw no polish on it whatsoever. They was like, oh, it looks good like this, it runs good, vice versa. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to throw this out here, a bare bones looking Halo game. And you guys are going to be like, yeah, cool, it's free for Game Pass. But what happened, people? Social media. Social media does not forget. The Craig meme was born. And of course, this game never recovered from that moment. And when the game officially dropped, it still never recovered because a lot of people were, you know, playing the multiplayer. You know, there are people who probably still play that multiplayer, but there are OGs. There are like diehards. I mean, even people that a lot of you probably don't even like. Like, for example, I get people telling me all the time, yo, how can you hang out with Gas from Game On Daily? Gas is family. That's the homie right there. But Gas would tell you flat out. If I was to hit him up right now, we were talking about Halo Infinite, he would tell you flat out, Halo Infinite in its current shape is trash. There is nothing on that game, nothing in the pipeline. There's tons of Xbox guys I've spoken with about this game that will agree in unison. And that's the beauty of having different opinions and speaking to different people. It's supposed to being an echo chamber. You know what I mean? There's tons of people that will agree in unison. But you know what was wild, though? When I brought that up, I had people give me weird looks on podcasts. They're like, Halo Infinite is better than what you got. I'm like, is it, though? Is it, though? Are you playing Halo Infinite? What did you get on Halo Infinite? Oh, you guys got plenty of skins, and you got 2 new maps. Wow. PlayStation dudes are so jealous of that. No, they're not. It's like, dude, can we just cut the crap? Can we just cut the crap? Move on. The way they handled Halo Infinite is a testament of why, you know, when you go a Game Pass model, you need to have a structure in place. You need to have proper structure in play and a proper plan in place to get this stuff going. If you don't have a proper plan in place when it comes to content, DLC, updates, stability updates, whole 9 yards, you're going to have a rough road to begin with. And that right there is the hard lesson that 343 learned from. Now, as far as where Halo goes from here, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But right now, it's a tough hill to climb, and we'll see what happens. Who knows, man? A lot of people were saying Destiny was bare bones. But here's the thing. Destiny had plenty of game modes. There was a lot to do in Destiny. Sad but true. Sad but true. I don't want to keep talking about Halo, but sad but true. Paradox, you're a member for 17 months. Holy shit, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you and Envy, man. I appreciate y'all. 17 months of support. Thank you, my brother. Game Nader, I hope they add more PS1 and 2 classic games on the PS Now Plus, but or PlayStation Network Plus, but I know they can't due to music licenses, etc. Well, there are ways around music licenses. They have to remove them. But again, that kind of takes away from, you know what I mean, the OG experience. Like, imagine playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle and you go to City Escape and you don't hear Escape from the City, the song, or Follow Me. I think the song's called Follow Me, right? You won't hear that song in the beginning. You know, that kind of can ruin the experience. So yeah, there are ways around it. That's why Microsoft had like a dedicated team for their solution. But a lot of people go, yeah, see how quick they did it? Well, Microsoft doesn't have a legacy as big as Sony. Sony has a lot more games. Pipeline-wise, they would have to get a separate team for versus Microsoft. Microsoft only been around, you know, for the 360 and Xbox One gen. And the OG Xbox One gen, the one I had, didn't have the biggest selection of games. But it was a good, it's a good console. It just didn't have the biggest selection of games. PS2 dominated. 360, that was a different story. So that's why they have issues like that. Why can't we celebrate console differences? But I'm sorry. Why can't we celebrate console differences? Everything doesn't need to be the same on every platform. Imagine if McDonald's had a Whopper, Burger King had a big. I mean, listen, man, that's the thing. People don't want to give any side props, man. Nobody. They want to say, oh, we don't need it. That's trash. It's all a turf war. Just look at it like that. It's all turf war to people. That's what it is. Still need to get the platform Returnal. I got that the first week it did. Shout out to Returnal. We got that the first week. Awesome experience though. It was an awesome game. Very, very awesome game. Gaminator, I seen the NVIDIA leak, and so is Sackboy Big Adventure as GT7 going to PC. Hey man. Listen, what did they say? The whole slate. And if you look at the release time of these games, by the time they do it, I don't want you guys to focus on the games that's dropping. I want you guys to focus on the window. I think that's the right way of going about this. Focus on the window of when these games are dropping to PC and how quick it are. Remember how it went from 4 years? Then it went from that to like 2 years, right? Now it's just down here to like less than a year. It's that's going to keep dropping, guys. It's going to keep dropping. I'm telling you right now, it's going to keep dropping. And with them getting away from social media, make no mistake about it. You know for a fact they are not going to have their developers around this drama if they need to. If they need to remove them from it, they will do this, and they'll have, those announcements. Trust me. And also, they already debuted a new style of how they're going to go about announcing, for PC ports in development. Remember how, obviously it was at the last State of Play. But you guys remember how it said, for example, what did it say? Resident Evil Village, right? PS5 version. Well, actually, no, that's not a good example. It will say, PS5, or it'll say in development for PS5, and then it'll say also in development for PC up top. I forgot the game they did this for, but it was a few games like that, the State of Play, they did that for. And also had VR support. So they have a lot of stuff they're doing for it. Legend of Dragoon PlayStation. There you go. You see? That'd be cool. Dino Crisis and Legend of Dragoon. You guys are really on the Legend of Dragoon. Dino Crisis, I really want to though. But Capcom actually tweeted Dino Crisis not too long ago. That actually got me excited. So that's still on the horizon, possibly. So we might see that, hopefully. So I'm looking forward to that when we get it. I think they still can do it. November is far away. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Sean said, I wouldn't take off the side plates. I don't mess with ridiculous expensive items. Nah, well, the thing is about the side plates, you don't rip them off. They literally just like pop off. Like they're like little clamps in, the little spikes that go on the side. They come off. Now, it's not hard to take them off at all. I guess the issue was people were taking off the screw for the hard drive, because how people were complaining about that and giving the engineers problems over there at PlayStation on social media. Again, so I'm talking about social media is a good and bad thing, and hey man, that's why I said I'm all for them getting away from it. I'm all for it. Let's see here. I missed PSX event, so fingers crossed this year we will get an in-person PlayStation Hugs event, or huge event, I'm sorry, instead of the online stream. I would like to see that for sure, but I don't think we're gonna get that yet. We're still off. We're still some time off from that type of stuff for them to have us at these events. I do think Sony wants to be very cautious about it. But granted, there are more events that are opened up. I got invited to a few cons to go to, and I've actually couldn't make. But we'll get there little by little. Hopefully we get a better, hold on stuff than sure, but we'll see. We'll absolutely see. Apparently the co-op beta is delayed for, I don't know what you're talking about. Probably maybe talking about something. Oh, you're talking about for Halo. I think that the 3070 was the best out of those cards. Purchase cost, performance, efficient, and heat. You hear that, Blaze 4K? Shout out to Brian. Put respect on that 3070. I appreciate you. Cassie said Halo Infinite is dead, pretty much, in its current shape. Paradox with the two. Sony's 10 new service games on PC, Switch, and Xbox. More than likely. Hey, well, I don't know about Switch or Xbox. But all these service games, I can most certainly see having a crossroads to PC. Absolutely. Absolutely. If the game is good, PC gamers will definitely buy into the DLC content. We've seen this with games like Rogue Company. Me and Blaze play Rogue Company a lot. Rogue Company, we were playing Rogue Company back when it was in beta form, and Rogue Company was very like bare bones. It's crazy when I go back and look at Rogue Company with Blaze. Like, I go and play it now. Rogue Company has like this esports badass new like overlay for it. They got rid of copyrighted music. The shit's very, very like snappy. Like, they really changed it up. The controls are on point. It's fire. Like, it's one of the best. Like, the way they handle it, just fire. So yeah, man, I can most certainly see it if necessary. Absolutely. He said, oh my God, you see how crazy. Halo Infinite should have been their message to the world that Microsoft Xbox is back to deliver. Yeah, it should have been. It didn't go out that way. Pick up your phone. Don't complain about me. This fraud right here. Pick up your phone. Oh, man, this guy. Pick up my phone. Did you not get my text, Chief? I told you flat out in the text. I wasn't even home. Left my phone in the crib. So, yeah. I don't pull Blaze 4K when, somebody calls and says what's up, and you go, yeah, fuck him. Hit end, you trash can. Shout out to Blaze in the chat, no? Xbox is missing the mark, not because of Game Pass, but because they lack the proper management and studio culture. Yes, and well, it depends on how you go about it. I would say yes, 50-50 with management. They obviously are trying to fix the problem. They bought into these studios, so they're going into this. Like, when the Elder Scrolls and the Dooms drop, they're going to be in a better shape and all this stuff, because that's going to be on their platform, and they're going to advertise that heavily on the box for sure, right? That's going to be the heavy hitters. But as far as like how they've been handling it lately, yeah, it's absolutely not the best shape whatsoever. It's really frustrating that you don't have anything for this year, and when you go into next year, it's stuff that should have dropped this year that, unfortunately, it didn't make the cut. So yeah, it's a slippery slope, man. There's a lot. There's like 50-50 on it for sure. It's like they do good in some aspects, and they do absolutely terrible in others. They're good with social media. I can say that about Microsoft when it comes to engaging the fans and keeping them up to date. But also, they also do themselves a disservice when they like kind of engage in the negative side of this, right? Like when people go, hey, when somebody complains about a controller, you got the Game Pass account saying, who asked you for your pay? You know what I mean? Like, no, let's not do that. Let's not do that. You would think we learned from the situation with G4 and Frost. Yeah, I remember that when the chick was like legit engaging in all these people. You shouldn't do that. You really shouldn't. But that's another can of worms for like another situation. It's pretty hectic by itself. Let's see here. Sony is a business. They need money. Yep. Shaq 2, he says, you sound like them bots wishing for day and dates. I sound like a bot wishing for day and dates, even though if you heard me speak, he didn't say anything about me wishing anything. You see, what you're hearing from me is someone who's level-headed, someone who's adapted and seen the situation. See, if you paid attention to the interviews that we've had on this platform, I want you to really look through the interviews. I want you to really look at the interviews. Seriously. Big Cloud Gaming has interviewed developers from Bluepoint, Sony Santa Monica, Housemark. Continue. You know what I mean? Like, listen, I've learned a lot. And there are other people that I've talked to on the sides. There's a lot of stuff happening that you guys either going to have to accept or get over. Things change. Business 101. This is business. This is not a friendship type of thing. Sony doesn't owe you anything, and you're not entitled to anything. That's it. You either like it, then you'll buy it. If you don't like it, you don't have to support it. That's where Sony's at. They don't need your support. And as far as this whole, putting somebody in a bubble saying I'm a bot because I said all this, listen. I want you to listen to me very, very carefully. Everybody knows this, but I don't know if you actually check my credentials. I suggest you look at my credentials and compare them to some of the biggest YouTubers out here, some of the most vocal ones that you might see on Twitter. You might be surprised by where I stand with a lot of these guys and how I stand toe to toe. And I'm talking about my PSN. All right? I support everything. I'm all for PlayStation being better. And the way Sony's been doing this, Sony's been in the best shape they've been in years. So guess what? I'm all for it. That's it. I could care less about no damn console war or allegiance to a piece of plastic, especially a piece of plastic that you're not going to care about in the next 4 or 5 years when we eventually go to PS6. You're going to drop that console and go right to 6. So let's just cut this whole bullshit. You sound like a bot. You sound like a pony. Can we get that shit out the chat, please? Let's not do this. I'd appreciate you not putting me in a bubble. Thank you. He said, I'm sorry, Big Cloud Road Company is dead. Less one. No, I'm talking about how it looks. Like the aesthetic of Road Company. Like go to like Road Company, like right now. Like go play it right now. And go check it out. It's a hell of a lot different. It's clean, bro. It's fire. It's fire. He said I'm going over the fact that they release earlier. Like, exactly. Like the y'all crazy in the chat. Microsoft is too laid back compared to Sony. They only seem to acquire studios to keep the masses quiet and bring next to nothing in return. Well, again, that's the thing about acquisitions. Number one, you gotta wait for deals to officially finalize and go through. Number two, you gotta wait for updates on games and obviously contractual agreements, right? So basically, let's look at the Activision situation, right? What was Sony contracted for? Sony had a contract with Call of Duty probably for like the next 6 games. Let's just throw that out there. And obviously Microsoft had to honor those agreements because those were already paid for, written, and, written up with lawyers. So they got to honor those contractual agreements. However, they pretty much said that they're not going to remove Call of Duty anytime soon from PlayStation. So there's that. And now, I don't know how that's going to play in the future. We'll see how that goes. Same thing goes with Bungie. Remember how Bungie is working with Sony, or Sony acquired Bungie, and they are working independent so they can put their games ever. I don't know how this is going to work, how they're going to do it, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens down the road. I just put it like that. But it's going to be interesting. Hands down. He says, when are you guys going to destroy each other again in Tekken 7? Who? What are you referring to? I mean, I haven't touched that, dude. I haven't touched that game in so long. And the crazy thing about it, and shout out to Hitbox. I got a Hitbox. I don't even use this thing because I haven't even touched it. I even have an arcade stick. Shout out to Carlos. But I have an arcade stick. I haven't even touched anything, bro. I haven't gone back to Tekken in months. It's been so long. I would like to go back to it though, especially with the rumor of Tekken 8 going around. So we'll see. I might return to it soon or enough down the road. So what about PS5 Pro? PS5 Pro will, it will eventually happen. That's a no-brainer. Do we need it right now? No, we don't need a PS5 Pro now, but we might need it down the road, especially when we start getting into these new techniques like Fidelity FX and whatnot and everything else when they start really pushing the boxes. Remember I said before, like when dudes were overhyping this Pro news and we haven't even touched the boxes, like really pushing them? We haven't. We really have not. And if you looked at our interview with John, from Sony as well, he even said, like, bro, he's scared that there's so much power that we have right now for the next gen consoles. You know what I mean? We haven't even tapped in all the way. So trust me, there's so much they can do. Wolverine's going to be a testament to this. I can see Wolverine being the new benchmark personally for Marvel games, and especially like just down the road in terms of quality. I have no doubts in my mind that Insomniac Games is going to kill it with that game. And the same thing goes for Naughty Dog. I remember Naughty Dog was getting, pressured not too long ago, actually. Dudes are coming at Naughty Dog saying that Naughty Dog is a cash trap because they're doing the Last of Us remake. Now, you guys already know, the only critique I had for the Last of Us remake was the fact that we don't have factions. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, we don't need it. You're getting a full one next year. Well, they didn't say we're going to get it next year. They're saying they're projected to show something next year, but that doesn't mean that it's coming out next year. The factions. This is why I said it would have been cool to have something to tie us over before we go to the full-fledged new experience of factions starting next year. You see what I'm saying? It would have been great to have that as an option. I wouldn't mind playing on the same small maps, just having a few things in, a few new additions, such as better movement with the dodge mechanic. All that stuff is great. The maps are fine in Last of Us. And no, I'm not saying that because I mastered the maps, because I already know somebody in the back probably is like, oh, I know the real reason why you're saying this, because you mastered the maps. No, it has nothing to do with the spawns or nothing. All right, leave me alone. It has nothing to do with that. All right, I'm just saying, like, I would take factions with the new engine, better polished or whatnot for what we're doing. And it looks good, but dudes are calling it a cash grab because of that. I'm like, dude, the game has been fully remade using new assets, new lighting, new techniques. I remember dudes was like, oh, I can't see the next gen difference in the remake. And I'm like, dude, are you guys blind? You could clearly see the difference. It's completely different. The draw distance, the screen is no longer stiff. Well, the characters don't look stiff. They look more relaxed and natural. Everything's in engine as opposed to it being a cinematic that they had to, painstakingly scope. All that stuff you guys see in the background, like the, the foliage, you guys see like the cans and stuff like that in the background, all that stuff that, that you guys seen, most of that stuff is from the PS3 version, obviously, that's just been remastered and, up at high res. That stuff had to be pretty much scoped. Now you have techniques, better engines in play with more capable systems that you guys are seeing the full-fledged next-gen experience of this, which it should have looked like to begin with. So I'm excited for this, man. My biggest gripe for Last of Us 1 was always the AI. I hated the AI in Last of Us 1 because the AI, if y'all remember, they would walk around holding their guns and not shoot at nobody, or would just move around. Or you would walk right past and you would be crouched and you would sneak past a villain, like an enemy, and they clearly see you, but they don't see you. The AI was not the greatest in Last of Us 1. I see them fixing that, obviously, with this one, and it's going to be a better experience. I'm excited for it. Now, I don't know what else they're going to do. They said there's no additional scenes that were done for Troy Baker and... they said there was no additional scenes done for Troy Baker or Ashley Johnson, who does Ellie and Joel. So that's confirmed. They didn't do any additional scenes, but that doesn't leave out Abby. We might have something for Abby. They might throw something in there for her, like a little scene for her, just to make it, just to make the continuity like legit for that and Last of Us 2. I can see them just doing that, and then they'll change the doctor to obviously Abby's father, and then that's it. That's really the big difference I expect from it. I don't expect no additional scenes. It would be cool if we got some additional scenes with like Joel and his daughter. That would be cool before the outbreak. I would like to see that, like like the world normal for a change, and then we get the outbreak. That'd be cool. Kind of Kind of like 28 Days Later. Who remembers 28 Days Later? Remember how we saw the opening with the monkeys? The monkeys was like, you know, was reacting to people in pain, and they were like, you know, the rage virus was created by them. You know, the activists let them out, and then bam, the world went to shit. That would be cool. We got like a small little glimpse of how it happened. Then we got into that. So that's what I would be. He says, yep, we're still stuck with Crushing Towers. Yep, that is a fact. He says, another Tekken should be around the corner. Tekken 7 has been out since June 2017. True, but they're still pushing that heavily in tournaments. And Harada has not said anything regarding Tekken 8. But I wouldn't put it past them that we are going to get something for that soon. Street Fighter 6 was just shown. Street Fighter 6 looks amazing. By the way, I'm not even a Street Fighter guy, but that looks amazing. That looks like they took elements of Mortal Kombat and mixed it with the art, you know, the art style. It looks great, though. It looks really, really good. I can only imagine what Bandai Namco can do with Tekken 8 and whatnot. He says, you said Jeffy Gaming says Factions 2 is a standalone title, multiplayers, and you know, I mean, obviously, I know that, but I'm saying it would have been cool if we had Factions to tie us over till we got into the next one for part 2 or for the main one going into next year. It would have been cool if we had an option for that. That's what I'm saying. I still play Factions, great multiplayer. I've been wanting to play that. I just can't get a team, man. I haven't installed it. It's been so long. Great multiplayer, man. I remember when I first played it, it took me a minute to get around. I was like, damn, this is so cool. We're actually playing a multiplayer for this. I was actually getting Gears 5 vibes, you know, with the execution and everything. I was like, oh, this is dope. You know, you got the shotguns, blowing people's heads off. I was like, this is awesome. This is what multiplayer should be. Surprised Sony didn't really get behind it as much. But obviously they see has potential. And I can see esports being thrown into this for sure, especially going into the next one. So let's see how they do it. I'm excited for it. And I think you guys should be too. It's a lot, especially for Uncharted. They tried it with Uncharted's multiplayer with 4 and I think 3 as well. They tried it, so we'll see. Absolutely see. He says, do you think Naughty Dog could manage a remade Factions and work on Factions 2? I mean, all you're doing is taking the servers from the last one and just moving them over. That's all you're really doing. You know, you're putting that with the new engine. That's it. You're not really redoing the maps or anything. Well, I guess you could say they're redoing the maps, but you know, not necessarily, because with the engines that we have now, you can drag and drop. If y'all remember, they had that whole thing, especially with the Luminous. Was it Lumens or was it Nanite? I think it was Nanite engine, but I'm pretty sure a lot of the studios, especially with Sony, are now getting into this where you can drag and drop resources. 'Cause I think John talked about that in the interview, how they're able to drag and drop stuff in the world, and the console with the GPU and everything would render it for them, and they don't have to do as much, you know what I mean? As opposed to going and painstakingly sculpt these things like we did back then, you know. Going back to the triangles that we saw in the Nanite engine, you know, all that stuff with the IO throughput. So I don't think it would be that much work for them. It probably would be like a little, let's say an additional few months maybe for the game if they were to do it. But I don't think it would be a whole bunch of a hassle for them. But again, I don't really know. But I would think it wouldn't, especially with the way the team works and how close they are with it. So that's where I'm at with it. It's possible, though. Last was part 3. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would. I don't know. I gotta see what they're doing with part 3. Like, is Ellie even gonna be a part of Last of Us Part 3? Because at this point, her story's over with part 2. You know what I mean? What do you do with Ellie? You gotta really think about it, man. Because at this point, it's probably just gonna be the Abby show with part 3, man. I don't know. We'll see. RWK, what up, brother? What's up? Good to see you. Severin Evans, what's up? Mumble Ranting Gaming, what's up? Just want Last of Us 2 AI enemies for the remake. Yeah, you're gonna get that with the remake, hands down. Especially for the stalkers. I remember how they made the stalkers on Last of Us 2. Like, those things was creepy. I was like, that's cool. That's how the stalker should have been from the get-go. Just like that. creepy, very opportunistic, very animal-like. You know what I mean? That's how they should be. I can't wait for you to get to that part when you're in that that wet area where the I guess it's the hotel, if I remember correctly. You're in the hotel and the power's out. That's gonna be a cool moment for Last of Us 1 remake, especially when you get into the first bloater fight with Billstown. That's another thing that's gonna be cool because they made the bloaters in Last of Us 2 gruesome, just as gruesome as Last of Us 1. So that's gonna be another cool thing. I hope to see another Resistance or Killzone. That would make a good live service game. Hands down. Absolutely. I agree. So I guess they forgot about Tekken X Street Fighter then. Was that still a thing? I do remember that was... Oh, wait, yeah. There was a game, but I don't know if they're going to do any more sequels for that. I'm not sure. Series S is considered last gen. It's done to the specs of last gen. If the pandemic hadn't screwed things up, the next Mortal Kombat would more than likely be scheduled for 2023. The recent entries all had a 4-year gap. MK11, April 2020. Yeah, it's possible. Absolutely possible. But again, you never know how ambitious this team will go. And that's another thing. Ambition can push a game back. You know what I mean? Depending on how far they want to push the roster. You got to think about marketing deals and licensing deals that they're doing with Mortal Kombat. Because Mortal Kombat went from just being the basic characters that we know from the base game to now they've branched out to getting a lot of characters from different worlds and comics. You know, we had Spawn in the last one. We had Terminator. We had Robocop, Predator, Jason Voorhees, Leatherface. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stuff that they're trying to do with Mortal Kombat where it's more expansive than that. So I can see that being that tying into the wait time for that for when you're gonna get it. So, but yeah, I agree. The delay probably would have been shorter for sure. I still play Smash Brothers Ultimate. Okay, I see you. Haven't picked up Sunbreak yet, though. I have Crash 4. Yeah, I don't think I redeemed mine. I gotta redeem that Crash 4 for the Plus, right? You get that for Plus. That's the rumored one. I have to turn on my PS5 to get that, which is convenient too, because I actually wanted to play it. I just never got up and actually bought it. So that's cool that we can get it for Plus. That's gonna be cool. Part 3 would be the end of the gen, I think. Probably. That makes sense to close the gen off with something like that. Unless Sony gets something else that's massive for PlayStation. Like deal related. Like, I don't know. Like, let's say Sony gets... I would say Daredevil, right? But I don't think Daredevil would come to PlayStation on that scale. I know Daredevil is now in the MCU. You know, the... from the TV show, that Daredevil's in the MCU now with No Way Home. But that'd be cool if we start seeing a lot of those characters do like legit get games, like Doctor Strange, Hulk get one. Hulk might be more likely a big focus for the new Wolverine game, so we might see Hulk in that game and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff they can do. Whatever they do, I think they'll probably avoid the Eternals. Shang-Chi would be a pretty cool game. I can see them going all out with that. Speaking of Mortal Kombat 2022, is the franchise 30th anniversary. See? So you might get a trailer or an update for the next one then. You might. Sword and Board with Last of Us 2 Mail Icon. Oh, Sword and Board with Last of Us 2 Mail. Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think it was a sword, it was a machete. You can get the machete and you can get like a little piece of 2x4. I know what you're talking about though. Now, when you add the Last of Us 2 mechanic where you can dodge, what I like about the fact that this is included in the remake. So let's say you're going against a team and like the team is not the greatest, but they have one good guy who has those perks where he has crafter, where he can craft like all his stuff fast. He can have like more resources for his weapons. If this guy is heavily depending on melee, you can dodge. That would be cool. That opens up new ways for the combat. So you can like draw him out, dodge, and have somebody with a crossbow or a sniper rifle take him out. You know what I'm saying? This opens up a lot of cool strategic plays with that combat system from Last of Us, Last of Us 2. What up, Strictly Game? What's up? But absolutely, I can see that being the case. He says, what up? Mentioning a while back that I think PlayStation is creating their own version of the MCU. Thoughts? Yeah, I mean, they already planted the seeds with Spider-Man. They already planted the seeds with Spider-Man 2018. What do we know about 2018? We know Matt Murdock's in the world. We saw, ironically, I think that was all a tease too. Like that was all set up because there was like, a hint for the future of the movies. Because now that if you watch No Way Home, spoiler alert, but it's been out now for this point. But if you watch No Way Home, Daredevil is in the movie. There's a lot of people in there, but Daredevil was officially shown in that. And you got the Wakandan, the Wakandan embassy from Black Panther in the game. You got Doctor Strange's sanctity of his sanctum, I think it's called Sanctity of Sanctum. The Avengers Tower. So there's a lot of stuff they have in there that they're clearly building towards. I do want Sony, like one of the developers of Sony, to make a full-fledged Iron Man game, like legit all-out Iron Man game. I would be all on board with that. Like we did get the VR version of it, but I would love to see them like really push Iron Man like you would see Uncharted or the current MCU Spider-Man. I mean, come on, like you got Spider-Man 2018 fighting Doc Ock on the side of a building. Like how many times I wish we had that in games. Now we're now getting that. Imagine us getting a legit like Mandalorian, not Mandalorian. God, what's that dude's name? I said Mandalorian. What that was his name? It starts with an M. The dude had the elements on his rings. I forgot. What's that dude's name? But imagine fighting that dude from Iron Man 3, the legit version of him, in game, and you can actually like jump in and out of the suit. You can actually upgrade it. You can see different variants of it. You can have different suits. Mandarin, thank you. You can have different suits for different combat purposes, like you see in Iron Man 3. Like there's a suit for everything. Like Igor. Igor is used to, stop big buildings from falling, stuff like that. You have the star suit, or I think it was called the space. It was a space suit for extended flight in space. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. Like, I would be down for something like that for Iron Man. I would love to see that. Love to see that. Ruham, what's up? What's up? Think Sucker Punch would be perfect for Shang-Chi or Iron Man. Facts. Yo, dude. Sucker Punch? Yes. We're on the same mindset. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't care about Spider-Man. Not a fan of it. But I would check out Wolverine when it comes out. So that's the thing. A lot of people don't resonate with Spider-Man. What I love about Spider-Man is that he's a normal dude, a normal average guy who just happens to have superpowers. Like he has work, he has responsibilities, but then he has that underlying choice to put his needs above, or your needs above his, and he goes, and becomes a hero and he saves the world. Like you guys remember, like they captured, like what I love about Spider-Man 2018, they captured everything about him so well. Like Insomniac did really, really well. Even that opening scene, like where he suits up, right? And you see like him get his little eviction notice and he's like, damn, okay, do I go pay this bill or do I save the world? Uh-oh, gotta go save the world. He jumps out the window. Like they just captured everything so well with Spider-Man 2018. So I'm just so excited for part 2, especially with Venom. Can't wait till we see how Venom is going to play into that as well. Is Harry going to be Venom? Is he free? we know Kraven the Hunter was in there. Let's keep that up, Buck. For those of you that don't know Kraven's voice, that's Kraven the Hunter's voice. Kraven the Hunter's in this, so gonna be cool. So I guess Kingpin plays a factor into that. I'm pretty sure Kingpin probably paid for Kraven to kill you. That's probably what happened. He said, "Hey, I got a hunt for you." And probably Kraven probably gave you some bullseye-like speech, and you're like, you know what? I'll do it for free. I just want his head on a pike, type of thing. You know what I mean? So you might have Kraven the Hunter be your main support-like villain, and then your main villain would turn into Venom, maybe. But I'm wondering how the suit's gonna play a factor in that. You know what I mean? Because For those of you that don't know how the symbiote works, the symbiote doesn't automatically have the abilities of spider sense. It doesn't have the abilities to web swing and stuff like that. Not out the gate. It doesn't have those abilities. It's very similar to what you guys see with Tom Hardy's Bane, or Tom Hardy's Venom right now in the basic Venom verse. It's very similar to that. Just a big bulking creature. It doesn't have anything else special, you know what I mean? Just amplified by the user. So obviously Venom has a personality similar to Brock, you know, or a witty personality courtesy of Brock, but that's about it. It doesn't have anything special. You know, he has some abilities, he has strength, he has like all this stuff, but that's about it. Carnage is another example of that too. Carnage doesn't have the ability to web swing. He just climbs. You know, they all climb like creatures. So how it works for Spider-Man, and the reason why Venom was able to become Venom officially was because the symbiote was copying and learning all the abilities of Spider-Man, such as Spider Sense. And then it adapted itself to where it could counter Spider Sense. This is how Venom could always get the drop on Spider-Man, because the suit knows how to not trigger Spider Sense, because it knows the technique of not doing it. It learned that from Peter. Same thing goes with web swinging, agility, strength. So it's going to be interesting to see how that suit plays a factor into it and what happens. Oh yeah, it's day one regardless. I don't care. I want to see how Green Goblin plays a factor in that too, because Green Goblin's going to be pretty dope too. We saw the prototype Goblin helmet in the game, so again, that's another cool thing. Daredevil will be dope to see. Facts. I like to see it. It could basically be their version of Batman, because it would basically be their version of Batman. Big Claw and Trinity from Matrix, Carry On Moss plays Tilda and Horizon. Oh yeah, I know. Shout out to Carrie Ann Moss. Still looks amazing to this day. I can't say I was a fan of Matrix Resurrection, but I'll just say it was cool to see everybody, but I did not like the film. I thought the film was unnecessary. I thought it kind of just like killed the legacy, personally. Bloodborne is primed for 60 FPS. It needs to be an update for that. It needs to be some update for that game. Sadly, there's no plans for Bloodborne. For those of you that want Bloodborne, there's no plans or active plans for Bloodborne or any remake right now at this current time. It was talked about, but it's already been reported that it's not happening, or there's nothing going around for it. But again, you could take that with a grain of salt and say that that's something, you know, that was paid to lower expectations. So I don't know. It depends on how you want to really take it, that information. I was low-key simping for a Korean master. Who has it? Who hasn't simped for Trinity? Trinity is gorgeous. This game's gonna be insane. That is a fact. Matrix 4 was a waste of time. Listen, I was sitting there screaming at Meds because he was streaming it. I was like, bro, dog, turn this off. When they started like going through the mirrors and the no, they started going to the mirrors and they kept trying to like reshoot classic shots like at the beginning. I was like, bro, turn this off. Who is this for? Turn this off. No, turn this off. And it's like, oh, you have to watch the Animatrix or something like that to know what happened to Morpheus. For those of you that don't know, Morpheus died in the Animatrix. There you go. That's why he's not in the movie. They killed him off in the Animatrix. Basically, Lawrence Fishburne was like, yeah, I'm done after Revolution. That's it. And they didn't want to up his contract, or they didn't want to negotiate. Didn't even bother with the new Matrix movie. The trailer was more than enough to turn me away. No, see, the trailer, I disagreed though. See, a lot of people like that. The trailer was fire to me. I thought they edited it pretty cool. I'm like, okay, you got Neo, got some new powers. He's like Obi-Wan now. He's like pushing them like with the Force. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? That's pretty cool. And then we go into how he gets resurrected and how they did it. And shout out to Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley made it into the movie. That was pretty cool how they like written that in there and that tied into the game. But, you know, I don't know, man. I don't know what they were thinking. I just don't. A little too much. Yeah, see, I don't even know. Like, okay, so Revelations, or was it Revolutions? I'm sorry, Revolutions. Revolutions was cool for like a lot of shots, especially like the Goku-esque fight they had at the end. That was cool. I like that scene. That was really, really cool. But the way they ended it, it was like they did end it on a hopeful note that peace was stored. But then there was a lot of questions that were left unanswered. Like, you know, Neo, was he officially dead? At the end of the game, like at the end of the movie, like him being carried away, they were showing off the light like he was being illuminated. But then we found out that that meant that he was being reinserted into the Matrix to honor him basically as a figure, or honor him as a program, a godlike program. And then when you go to Matrix Resurrections, they basically gave him the Agent Smith treatment, but they did protocols. They were hiding his data by using corrupt files or different files. I think that's how they try to explain how he was in the Matrix. So he doesn't look like Neo in the real world, even though we see him as Keanu Reeves. It was like a corrupted file to hide him from the Resistance. They ever found him. So there's that. Yeah, I know. I can't believe I made it that far, but I paid attention. I was like, you know, I was curious about how they did it. Now the Agent Smith thing, I was like, okay, why are we doing this? Where's Hugo Weaving? You mean to tell me they couldn't get Hugo Weaving for this role? They got everybody else in this movie, but not Hugo Weaving, who plays Agent Smith. Hugo Weaving probably read the script and was like, yeah, no, I ain't doing this. Shout out to Hugo Weaving, man. Shout out to Hugo Weaving. This man played Megatron. This dude played V for Vendetta, and he played Agent Smith. Talk about a badass. That dude's a fucking legend. Shout out to him. Yeah, I did saw the... What's up, James? Yeah, I did saw the Robocop trailer. That looks fire. That looks good. They said that's going to be in between the second movie. It's going to take... It's like it's going to be its own story taking place in between the second film, which is cool because the second film I thought was dope when you had... No, I'm sorry. Was it the second film? Yeah, they said it's going to take place between the second film. But instead of them focusing on Nuke... I don't know if you guys remember Nuke. Nuke was the drug in Robocop 2. Instead of them focusing on that maybe in this story, maybe you do that in the story, but instead of them focusing on that, they're going to be focusing on the Splatterpunks. The Splatterpunks was from Robocop 3. Yeah, Splatterpunks. They were from Robocop 3. So they were in the actual gameplay. It looks dope, actually. It looks really, really cool. I'm actually on board with it. Yeah, that looks really, really cool. I don't know. Did you guys see the Robocop trailer? Anybody else seen it? I can put it on the screen if you guys didn't see it. It's actually really cool. I do dig it. Very, very nice. Let me see. 4K gameplay. I know a lot of people didn't like the remake. The remake was okay. What I didn't like about the remake, though, was how they did... I didn't like how they did the design. Like they changed this iconic design to all black. It looked cool in certain shots, but I was like, dude, y'all should have just kept the traditional blue, gunmetal blue. And also they gave him a human hand, but they did some cool stuff. Like they made him more agile in the remake. That was cool, but I couldn't get behind it all the way. I did think they did cool job with it though. Let me switch this over. So here's the actual trailer. Let me play this. Turn this down. I don't know if there's copyright, so I'm just going to do that. Turn down just a little bit. There you go. There's the Splatterpunks. Let me put that in 4K. Let me say. There you go. Now it looks even more crisper for you guys. I talked about Forspoken being delayed on RGT. I think it's the right move for that game. The reason why, there's so much happening. I don't think that game would have survived in its current state in terms of the marketing wise for where it was. So I think it makes sense for them to do that, to delay it, get more eyes on it. This actually looks really good. From what we're gathering, it's first person. So you got the targeting system, you got all that stuff. Looks really, really cool. I do hope there's more blood and guts in this. Very similar. Like what I want this to be dark and gritty like the first film. Remember how like the first film it didn't take no prisoners? They legit just killed this man at the beginning. They didn't care. I want that.
Why? Listen. I would trust
really
this
want
guy
that.
with my kids. I mean, if I had any. This was just an isolated glitch.
Man said it's isolated glitch. I'm guessing that's Dick Jones.
You are coming with me.
Oh yeah, and Peter Verhoeven is coming back to play the character, which is badass. So yeah, it's gonna be on PS5, Xbox Series X, Steam, everything. Looks really, really good, especially the shots with Ed 209. I look forward to streaming this. I've been wanting to stream more. I just haven't thought about how I'm gonna do it. So basically, Red Hood's Red Hood bought me Final Fantasy Remake on PC. And I did say I was gonna play it. I was gonna play it because I never played Final Fantasy, never got into it. So we are gonna be streaming that soon. I'm probably gonna do that on the Twitch channel. So for those of y'all that haven't followed me on Twitch, I will be doing that on Twitch. I'm probably gonna move all my gameplay sessions to Twitch. I know a lot of you guys tune in here for either RGT or news, and I will be getting back to news soon. So that's what's gonna happen there. But I do want to have another avenue, another area we can all chill, hang out. You guys can ask me stuff for sure. So I think I'm gonna use Twitch as an option over there. So that's what's gonna happen. So if you haven't followed me on Twitch, go ahead and do so. Links in the description below. I think it's bit__ cloud gaming. That's what it is all together. And that's what's going to be there. But back to this. I do think they nailed the targeting system approach here with the first person. Where is that? I really dig this right here. Like you can throw trash cans. He's choke slamming them, throwing them away. Now, how do how do they handle the damage though? Is how I'm kind of confused though, because he's bulletproof. So what is it gonna be? Headshots? Well, that's gonna be the thing. How are they gonna do that? How are they gonna handle that type of stuff? Shout out to Dragon Knight. Appreciate the follow over there. Yeah, you can watch my OG, my cringe stream, watching the movie. I actually have a full-length reaction to a movie. I actually wanted to do that on Twitch. I wanted to watch movies with you guys over there and just, laugh at them. It's still up there, so if you guys want to watch it, it's, the worst movie of all time. It's called Undefeatable. My reaction to it on there, it's hilarious. We watched the thing from start to finish. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Stream, iconic. You said a podcast with MBG. I have a podcast we're going to be doing Friday, obviously, with David Jaffe. So to everybody who came through, David Jaffe will be joining us this Friday. So we're going to be going through a lot of stuff, talking through everything, talking about everything. I'm probably going to drop the promo video. If I don't drop it today, maybe tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see how quick the vid is. We'll see. But yeah, definitely. He says I saw some blood on enemies. One of them got ripped apart, I think. Yeah, so I do think they're gonna keep that. It's not gonna be obviously gonna keep an R rating. It's gonna be some stuff. So. So yeah, there's that. A lot of people don't like Jaffe's opinion, but again, it's an opinion. He says, he's how much he's gonna give out. I mean, dude, he said God of War at 2018 was his game of the year. Y'all remember the review he did? I watched the review. It was well received. He liked the game. But you know how it be. Shout out to Lit420. Appreciate the follow. Thank you very, very much. But yeah, no, man. He says he out of vogue. I don't know what they say there. But no, that's pretty much it. I already talked about, the situation. Shout out to everybody who came through mad early, but appreciate y'all. And as far as the news, everything of that nature, I'm gonna definitely condense those to video format. I've been working on my editing. That's why another reason why I haven't uploaded. I've been working on my editing better, quicker, just getting into the spirit of it. So have more fun with it. Probably gonna have a new intro soon down the road, as well as a few things. And as far as RGT is concerned, I get a lot of messages from you guys, so I'm going to make this public. Not yet, obviously. It doesn't happen yet. But in September, the RGT podcast is going to probably more likely be pushed to 7 p.m. I know a lot of you guys reach out to me saying, yo, I wish I could make the podcast. So we're actually going to be pushing the show to 7 in September. That way a lot more people can come through and join us and check out the podcast. That way nobody feels any type of way. They won't miss it. Plus, another reason why we're doing this takes pressure off of my panel, because a lot of my panel members got to rush to get here. So that's going to happen in September for y'all. We're going to do that. And as far as like interviews, I know a lot of you might go, well, what about interviews if I need to? It depends on the situation. Not every interview is probably going to be around that time, so RGT might differ around those times. So it might not be 5, it might be 7, but it might alternate depending on interviews, how we go about it, or availability. So we'll see how that goes. He said that's crossfire time. I know it sucks, but it's nothing I could do at this point, bro. Not much I could do. I know a lot of y'all asked me about it, so that's what's going to happen. But everybody will be good. Mooch is the homie. He'll tell you flat out. It'll be fine. And as far as like Crossfire is concerned, I'll see if I can make appearances. I will be trying to, for sure. So we'll see how we do. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing that. All right. So anyway, that's it. That's the show. That's the stream. Appreciate y'all coming through. Appreciate everybody. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the week or the day. And if I don't upload anything, I will upload probably tomorrow. And we'll just go from there. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe out here for one. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. And see you guys. If I don't see you, I see you guys Friday. Obviously, RGT podcast. We'll be talking with David Jaffe about the industry, the whole 9 yards. And yeah. That's it. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be good. Y'all be easy. Much love, all right? I appreciate y'all. Later.